is now playing in a continuous loop and will play in a continuous loop for billions of years as this car travels aimlessly around the universe forever. David Curley, ABC News senior transportation correspondent, joins us from Cape Canaveral. Good morning, David.
Rob, was that cool or what?
So I'm still trying to figure out exactly why they did this other than a giant publicity stunt.
It's a test flight. He was testing the biggest rocket in the world, and a private company was successful yesterday in sending it up. And when you test a rocket like this, you want to have something to simulate the cargo, a satellite or a spaceship that you might send into space. So instead of putting some concrete or some metal or lead or whatever in the cargo hold, Musk decided to put something from his other company, his own personal red roadster with a mannequin with a spacesuit, and send it into space. And the pictures of the Earth in the background, they were spectacular. It was hilarious. In fact, even Musk thought it was ridiculous and silly, but he loved it, and it's caught. I mean, everybody's just kind of talking about those pictures this morning.
Now, the science of it all, you talk about the private business putting this cargo up in space. Isn't it true that this is a fraction of what it used to cost to put something into space?
Well, not yet, because he just spent $500 million developing this rocket. There were 3 of the rockets he's been using for a couple of years. The Falcon 9's put together, makes the Falcon heavy, which means you can carry a bunch more weight into space, which is important if you want to send humans back to the moon or maybe to Mars. So, yes, $90 million will be the cost in the future if you wanted to send a big satellite up into space. So that is significantly cheaper than what anybody else can offer right now, and that was the success that he has proved that he can carry heavier items into space. That gives him a huge advantage. And, of course, we watched him bring back 2 of those boosters successfully and land them. He lost the third one, the center one. It ran out of fuel and slammed into the ocean and broke up. But that's the way he's reducing costs. Reusability. He says it's silly not to reuse these rockets. It would be like getting in a 737 and flying across the country and then getting rid of the plane after one flight.
Yeah. That was the coolest part, where they landed on the launch pad afterwards. Explain.
It looked like synchronized swimming.
Yeah. The 2 of them together. Explain the sonic boom. Why did the sonic boom happen?
Okay, so they're coming in really fast from space and back into the atmosphere, and then they have to fire their rockets to slow them down. And as they slow them down, when you go from above the speed of sound to below the speed of sound, you get a sonic boom.
Wow! So there you go.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like boom, boom, boom. It was to see it go up and have the. It was actually when it got about a quarter mile up in the air, when the rockets are. You can really feel the vibration of all that power on your chest. You know, and it takes a while for the sound and for the concussion to get us here a mile away from the launch pad. But it was remarkable to see it go up, and then we could actually see those rockets firing on re-entry as the 2 boosters were coming back down. It was pretty spectacular viewing.
And so now the car is off to Mars?
Yeah, so overnight, that second stage, which the car is attached to, it doesn't really look like it. I mean, the pictures, you think the car's out there by itself all alone. The actual second stage is connected to it in the back. So they fired it overnight. That took out of Earth's orbit and headed it toward Mars. If it actually does not blow up or fall apart or whatever, if it survives, it should go into an orbit around the sun and Mars. And if it does survive, it could be out there for millions, if not billions of years. It's basically, we've gotten all the pictures we're going to get. It's now just kind of a slingshot. It's on its way. We'll see how it does.
Can they control it once it's in orbit, or is it just no? It's just
not that final burn. It's like you take a rock, and that energy, that final burn, was throwing the rock toward Mars and the sun, and it's on its own now. It's out there cruising that way. If they got it right, and if it survives all the radiation and other problems of space, it could go into that orbit around the sun and Mars.
And David Bowie's song plays in a loop for billions of years.
Until the batteries run out.
David Curley, ABC News. ABC News senior correspondent in Cape Canaveral. Thanks, David. Good stuff.